All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to welcome you all to Getting Naked Podcast, our live podcast. We have a special live podcast tonight. I want to assure you tonight is going to be a great night. We have Zavanna Dova with us. I promise you, you want to tap in. This young lady is a spiritual awakener. She's a speaker. She's a creator. She's a conqueror. She's engaged to her soulmate, Brian. She actually turned her story, ladies and gentlemen, into she turned her trap into her trampoline, and more than anything else, she's a certified life coach. She went from acting and modeling, and now she has her own brand, Zavanna Dova. .com sisterhood club is her clubhouse. She has over 19,000 followers on Clubhouse alone. So Savannah, I want to thank you for joining us. She gave back to us, and we have to thank you so much for leading that path of what we talk about all the time. You have to give love in order to get love, and that is exactly what you're doing here, is giving love to us. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. How you doing today, ma'am?
I am wonderful because I have the opportunity to be here with the both of you. How could I be doing any better than that? I mean, are you kidding me? This is the best podcast anyone could ever be a part of.
Yeah, it is called Getting Naked for a reason. So
that's it, because the truth comes out. The truth always comes out.
You're right. Real, raw, and funny as AF. Nobody's getting naked, by the way. That is the name of this podcast, and it was more so me and Tara wanted to have a conversation with people that would be able to share their story.
Yeah.
People that are like-minded and really full of energy and vibration of, being able to share that with the rest of the world. And your story of what I just hear, which the rest of the people are going to hear today, is just amazing. So I want to share and just be real and authentic as you always are.
Well, first of all, thank you. I am so excited. Y'all, I found a new soul sister, so I'm excited. Woo! You don't even know. Like, we've connected over so many things already. But I want to know a little bit more. So we're soul sisters, but I want to know more, right? I want to know more. If you'll tell us just a little more about your background a little bit, like where you came from, what you love to do, kind of just a little bit more about who Zavanna is.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of people actually don't know this about me. So this is a fun fact, a fun little portion of the podcast here. And I actually was born in Slovakia. So I wasn't born in America. I was born in Slovakia, and I came to America when I was 5 years old. So I've been here my entire life. But my mom brought me here when I was a little girl because she wanted a better life for me. She was a single mother. I'm an only child, and she really wanted a better life for me. So, I think one of the biggest things is the courage that I have. I really get from her because, she didn't speak the language. She didn't know anything. She didn't speak the language. She didn't have a place to live. She had not even $1 in her pocket. And she came to this country by herself, and she learned the language. She started to teach herself the language. She, started to look for a job. Then she found a job. Then she was able to find us a home. And then eventually, I was brought over here, and I was able to live in the home with her. But just something like that to me is absolutely incredible. I mean, I don't know that I would have the courage to just kind of up and leave and, learn a whole new language and start, all of these things that I had no idea about. So that's just a little fun fact about me and where I'm from. Things I love to do for fun. Love music. Who doesn't, right? I mean, come on, you guys. Who doesn't love music? I absolutely love it. And as most people probably know, I love to talk. That is the one thing that literally I can be in the worst mood. I can be in the most pain with my fibromyalgia. And as soon as you get me going, there is no stopping me. So those are the things I love.
Well, I did say, for those that didn't hear us, I said, well, when she says, I love to talk, I went, we are definitely soul sisters, because it's like, I will just, So, yeah. Well, go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Well, what are some of the things, you wish you had known when you had began your journey and your career? I mean, and I really want to dig maybe probably a little bit more deeper into the modeling, the acting, and then what, got you to this point now.
Well, I'm actually really excited for this question because I talk about this all the time. And, the biggest thing that I would say that I wish I knew is we have way too many expectations. Now, I don't know what anybody believes in. If you believe in yourself, the universe, God, a higher power, whatever it is that you believe in, I believe in God. And one of the biggest things for me is I think too often in life, we go into it having expectations. If this doesn't go this way, my life sucks. If this doesn't go this way, I'm not successful. If that doesn't go that way, I can't be the person I want to be. And we go into life with way too many expectations. And that was my biggest thing is, from a very young age, I knew I wanted to do modeling and acting. I didn't know why. I was drawn to it. That was just the universe calling me. So I started as a child, I started doing modeling and acting. And as I got older, my mom obviously couldn't keep bringing me to New York. And for those that know the entertainment industry, you don't just wake up tomorrow and start making money. You do a lot of stuff for free. You have to build your portfolio. It's a big deal. So as I got older, my mom couldn't keep bringing me. And I eventually was like, okay, well, I got to kind of figure something out. And I would say that my biggest fear, knowing that my mom brought me to this country for a better life for me, one of my biggest fears was always to let her down and to let my family down. That's in Slovakia. And I never wanted anybody to look at me and say, wow, she didn't go to college. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. And as you know, society really tells you what you have to do, what type of person you have to be. If you don't do things a certain way, then you're not successful. You're not going to succeed. You're not going to be popular and all of these things. So I kind of started to form myself into what I thought society wanted, right? What I thought would make my family and my friends happy. I just wanted people to be like, wow, she went to college. She did this. She did that. And I ended up getting full paid scholarships. I was going to college to be an anesthesiologist.
Congrats.
And one day I was in class, I just was sitting there, and it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I said, what am I doing here? Literally, what am I doing here? I'm going to be an anesthesiologist just to say I make a lot of money and to say that I did all of these things and got all of these degrees. That's not really what I want to do. That day, I walked out of college, dropped out completely, and I never looked back. Now, mind you, I knew nothing about the entertainment industry. I didn't have any connections. It was like literally as I dropped out, I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt everything just come over me. And I'm like, what the heck did I just do? Like, what? Why would I do that? And that day I came home, I started to do research, I started to learn. Now, the other downfall I had with modeling is I'm 5'1.5". I tell people I'm 5'2", because who wants to, come on, we don't want to do the whole half thing. We do not want to do that. 5'2", we're 5'2". So going into it, as you know, the petite category is about 5'6". So I didn't even meet the petite category, but I was going for it, right? It's already too late. I had dropped out of college. There's no going back. I'm done here. So I started to do research and I started to teach myself about everything, the ins and the outs of the industry. I started to go to casting calls. I started to just audition. I started to, build up my portfolio, and I was doing a lot of trade for work and just building it up. And I got to a point where I was doing it quite some time, and I was at the peak of my career. I had just finished filming in the movie Creed #2. If you've seen that, I was in Maxim magazine. I was on the Wendy Williams show. I was on America's Funniest Home Videos, Bobby Flay. I mean, the list goes on. And I was at the peak of my career. And one day I just woke up and my entire life was changed. Literally, my entire life was flipped upside down. And the going back to the question, the one thing that I wish I knew was to not have expectations. For so long, I kept saying, God, I know what my life's purpose is. I know what it is. Just get me there, help me get there, and we'll figure it out. And God was always pulling me in a different direction, saying, no, like, just trust me, come this way, just come on. and I wouldn't listen. I would not budge. I would literally not budge for anything because I knew in my mind what my life's purpose was. And I realized very quickly that when you go into something with expectations and you don't give God a chance to show you that there could be something bigger and better for you, things happen to you that you wouldn't expect to happen. I woke up, one night I was literally living the dream. I was doing all of these grand things that I had envisioned my entire life. And the next day I woke up, I had fibromyalgia. Took me 7.5 years to get diagnosed. I finally got diagnosed, and that entire journey alone was terrible. I was going to doctors. They were telling me, you're healthy, you're fine, everything's fine. You just need to see a psychiatrist. Meanwhile, I'm dying. I'm crawling out of bed. I can't even walk. I can't cook anymore. I can't do anything. So I started to take medications. They were giving me medications, and of course, life had another obstacle for me because why not? Come on. And I was one of the 0.1% of people that got a rare side effect to one of the medications. And I got levator reticularis, which causes my legs and my arms to turn purple. So now I not only had fibromyalgia, but I also had something that turned my legs and my arms purple to add on to the pain. So I realized very quickly that my entire modeling and acting career was over, and I didn't have a plan B. I didn't have a backup plan. Literally didn't have anything. That was it. And, I would wake up and I would just pray and I would say, God, like, why? Why do you keep waking me up every single morning? Why am I still here? Like, what is my purpose? I knew what my purpose was. How could I possibly still be here going? What am I doing? And I realized that, sometimes we got to hit the brake, like we just have to hit the brake and say, this isn't happening to me. Like, this is happening for me. And if you just open up your eyes and if you just look at the bigger picture, you'll see that there's something better. I look back at it now and I tell people all the time that my fibromyalgia was a blessing. I look back at it and I'm like, wow, God was protecting me from something. I mean, you see all the time in the movies and, just recently, I mean, Cameron Diaz and all of these celebrities are coming out saying they never want to act ever again. There's things happening in the entertainment industry that I might have been a part of. Yeah. And that was God protecting me. That was literally God saying, like, just follow me. Like, I'm leading the way. If you just come on, open those eyes. and that was the biggest thing I would say is I think that going into something, if you feel that you have a fire burning within you and 100% that that's what you want to do, go for it. But if life throws something at you, if there's a curveball, don't question it. Don't be like me and say, God, why my life is over? I can't believe this happened. Like, wake up and realize that there's something better for you on the other side. You just have to literally walk through the door of opportunity, and you have to understand that that is a door of opportunity for you. And when you're able to do that, everything else will fall into place. Things that were unimaginable, things that you never even saw for yourself, literally start to fall into place. And you're like, dang, why did we do this sooner? Like, what have we been doing here? But I would say that that's the biggest thing is, don't have expectations from life, from God, from, anything. The only expectation you should have is to show up as your best self every single day. That's the only expectation. Don't have any expectations of how much money you're going to have, all the luxurious houses and cars you're going to have, what your career is going to be. Like, life might throw a curveball at you. And if it does, just know and understand that that was thrown at you because you're the only person that is capable of handling that obstacle.
It's beautiful. When you said no expectations, something that David and I have for a very long time has chattered about the unexpected expectations, which is the same thing. It's the walking through life going, I'm supposed to, go to school, and then I graduate, and then I go to college, and then from college, do I go to graduate school, and then I get married, and then I have 7 kids, and then, those are all lawyers and doctors, and it's that society's, way of us where we're supposed to be. And so I think that you summarized it such an excellent way to share with the community that you got to pivot. It's at the end of the day, life is about pivoting when these signs come up, however they come up, however you communicate with your higher being. Mm-hmm. Those signs will come up. It's like driving down the road and you're like, oh, I need to exit that exit right there. Well, you don't just guess at it, because most roads have road signs, most roads, And so at the end of the day, we in life sometimes, why are we driving the freeway of life with a blindfold on? Like, why are we not looking at these signs that God or your universe or whoever you believe in are like, exit now. No, I said exit now.
But us, we're just like, no, I am not going to take that exit. Whoa, slow down.
I have to throw up a brick wall where you smash in it and
literally
have to off that exit and be like, I was going to get you off of that exit one way or the other. So.
That's it. And that's what happened to me. That's what happened with my journey. I kept fighting it, and I kept saying, I know what's meant to be. I know the purpose. And God kept fighting me and saying, you literally have no idea what the purpose is. Like, just slow down. You have no clue what the purpose is. Calm down.
Adorable.
You said something at the beginning, and I just want to bring this back forward to you. Don't know if this registered to you, but you said, I don't know if I could have moved to a country and learned the language and did all these things like my mother did. And yet you did exactly that. You dropped out of school that day and you went into something that you had no clue about, and you threw your hat over it. And as you said, you didn't have a plan B. And most people have a plan B. And that's the one thing that I want you to hear, that you gave it your all. And even now, what you're doing now, you're giving it your all. You don't have a plan B. So you did exactly what your mother did.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you pointed that out, because, sometimes we look at other people and the way that they do things, and in a form, if we don't do it exactly that way to a T, it's like, no, I can't do that. But, now you bring it up and I'm like, yeah, I did do that, didn't I? I did do that.
Well, so what was one of the biggest hurdles that you have faced through your transition, through your pivot?
I would say that the biggest, there's been a few. So the first thing that I'll share is, no matter what it is that you are doing on your journey, there is always, literally always, going to be more no's, more quote unquote what people call failures, more obstacles, more fears, all of that. There's going to be more of, and there is the good days, right? Like, you don't just wake up every single day and you're like, yes, let's go. You wake up and something might happen. Maybe you're in pain like me. Maybe, you're struggling with something. Maybe you have to reschedule. Maybe whatever it is, there's always going to be something that's trying to get in the way. And those things are meant to be a distraction. And I would say the biggest thing for me was always feeling like, I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't smart enough, just because, like you said, everybody makes you think that you have to be a certain way. You have to do things a specific way. And that's not the case. And, that was something that I really struggled with during my entire journey, is just feeling like, wow, like, these people have been speaking for so long, and I'm just stepping into it just because, life threw this curveball at me. And I was so afraid to open up, to use my voice. And there was so many things that I would run into that I knew were signs where it's like, you're meant to do this. Like, I'll give one great example. when I first got on Clubhouse, right? I was just starting in the speaking, and you know, it was kind of just when I started all of my entire health journey. You know, when I finally was diagnosed, and I finally was like, okay, you know, I have to kind of start from scratch and figure it out. And one of the biggest things was my first week on Clubhouse. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything. And I was scrolling through the hallway, and there was a room, and it was titled something about sharing your story. So I popped in, I listened in, and I'm like thinking, I'm like, wow, like these people are so inspirational. Like they're just so vulnerable up there, like sharing their story. And like, oh my gosh, like I want to be up there with these people. And you guys know, when you raise your hand, I was sweating. I had to change. I was soaked. I said, oh man, all right. Once you raise your hand, it's too late, right? They already saw you raise your hand. So I'm like, it's too late. I'm all sweaty. I'm wet. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go for it. So
not visual.
I raised my hand, and they turned off the hand raising as soon as I raised my hand. And there was other people in the room, and I just sat in there, and I'm like, no, like they'll bring me up. They saw me raise my hand. Like I at least know that much to know that they literally saw me raise my hand. And they brought every single person up except for me. Now, mind you, just to put it out there, I did not look like a bot. I did have some followers, you know, that had followed me, and I was following some people, you know, that I just happened to see, you know, through the Clubhouse app. And they never brought me up. And I'll tell you, that was a very pivotal moment for me. And I knew that that was a sign from God. I always believe in signs. And I know God is always communicating, or the universe, whatever you want to call it, it's always communicating with you. So in that moment, I felt like my entire voice was silenced. Like I felt like, why does somebody have that much power over someone else to say your story matters but yours doesn't? You're good enough but you're not good enough. And that happened to be one of my biggest fears, is feeling like I wasn't good enough, right? So in that moment I said, oh no, we are not going to do this. And it was like a quick, it's such a quick instinct that you get in those moments, right? Like option one would have been to just say, people are really mean. I'm out of here. I'm going to shut this app out. I'm going to pretend this never happened, and I'm going to call it a day. And my instinct, my internal instinct was like, no, you're not going to do that. As much as you want to do that, you are not going to do that. And, you know, I made a promise to myself that day, and I made a promise that I would never allow anybody ever to silence my voice, no matter who it was, no matter what it was. I would never allow anybody to silence my voice. And I also made a promise that no matter who I came in contact with, I would always ensure that they had a space to share their stories, that their voices were never, ever silenced. And, you know, I created the Sisterhood of Influential Entrepreneurs right then and there. That was it. Like that was the pivotal moment. And I would say that that's probably the biggest thing is, you know, just worrying too much about other people, worrying too much about what people think, what people say, how are people going to react? Like at the end of the day, people are going to go home. They're not going to even think twice about you. They're going to literally be laying in bed thinking about their own problems and their own fears. They're not like, oh, that's Zavanna, I can't believe she shared that, or I can't believe she raised her hand. Like, they are not thinking twice about you. They do not care what you are doing. Literally, they care about their problems and the things that they have to overcome on a day-to-day basis. So that would probably be one of the biggest challenges that I faced on my journey, is just really feeling like I didn't have that voice. I didn't have that power. And when I finally stepped into it, whoo!
Watch out. I love it. You know, you said something and it sparked, because a lot of the times we are worried about what other people are saying. We are fearful, and you know, that false evidence of appearing real that we always hear. Or my new thing is, you know, is forced. What is it? Hold on, let me get it.
It's in the book. Hold on. In the Bible.
One momento, por favor.
Referencing the new version.
My new version of fear is focused energy arranged to react. Right? It's nothing but focus of energy arranged to react. Because you said it. A lot of people aren't in bed saying, "Oh my God, I cannot believe Zavanna posted that." They're literally in bed being, "Oh my God, Zavanna posted that. I should be doing that. Oh, I'm so proud of her. How can I be more like that?" And that's what I remind people. It's just pressing the button. Our fears get in so much in our way that what you want is on the other side of your fear.
Yep.
And that's what the most important thing that you've been able to do is do that.
Absolutely.
I really appreciated that, Zavanna, because I think there's a lot of us a lot of women who are coming into that their power. They're stepping, and not even women. It's everybody. It's like everybody is stepping into their own unique power, and it does not have to be gender specific. But I love the fact that you spoke about, I will not be silenced, and I will create a space where other people will not be silenced. Mm-hmm. That really tugs at my heart, because I mean, that's the space that we try to make sure we create. Hello, we do. You right. You right. Because that's what we want people to make sure, that they have a space. And no matter how long they need to share, or how concise it is, or whatever, it could be repeating and 17 times around the track. We might help you a little at that point, but it's making sure people feel safe. And something that I think what's been happening, like, go back to the society conversation that you were having earlier about the way we need to be, or what society standards are on us, expectations. I think a lot of times there's that expectation to silence ourselves, be small. I had that exact same thing happen this week within my Wi-Fi cafe. For those that are watching, I call my Wi-Fi cafe my corporate position I am leaving. And at the Wi-Fi...
We'll cut that part out.
We'll cut that part out. Anyways, but the similar thing happened, and it was almost like, silence your voice, Tara. And I was like, no, we're not going to silence anything, because at the end of the day, I have silenced myself for far too long, and it's not been a benefit. It's not helping. And so why should I sit here, like you said, they're not going to bed worried about Zavanna. Did she put her hand up, her hand down? What is Zavanna doing? They're not worried about that. Just like, at the end of the day, I don't need to be worried about them and what they think, because I chose to speak up and say something. And so I really appreciate you bringing that message and creating that space for women, for sisterhoods, and, really at the end of the day, women, we're inclusive, so we'll invite you guys too. So
and one thing I want to add to that, because I think what you said is very important. And well, number one, congratulations to you. That's a huge, bold move. So yes. But I wanted to touch on that, because the other thing is, too often we are silenced, and we are made to feel like we need to not speak up. And that not only does damage to ourselves, that also does damage for other people, right? Because something that you might have been speaking up about, somebody else needed to hear that. And because you didn't speak up, they didn't have the opportunity to hear that. So they're going to go every single day thinking that their life is great, and, oh no, it's okay. I'm just supposed to be doing this. Like, I'm supposed to wake up and eat my breakfast and go to my job and come home and shower and get ready for bed and do it all over again. But because you're speaking up, that's for anybody that's listening and watching. When you speak up, you show other people, you pave the way for other people to speak up, to use their voices. That's the whole point of us having a voice in the first place, is to share our stories, our obstacles, to show people, hey, I've overcome this, you can too. Yeah. But in order for us to do that, to make that impact, to make that difference, and to pave that way for other people, we have to be the ones that use our voices.
Absolutely. And I want to tap this on before we switch into another question. When we do that, when we stand up, if other people around you need you to say, and you do stand up, and that they needed you to do that, but they didn't stand up with you, just know you still paved a way. Whether take action behind you or not, please know that you stood up, because that is what is happening in the Wi-Fi cafe, where when people stand up or say something, the other people around who are going through it will not do anything around it. But what I am doing is I am paving a way to say, you do not have to put up with this, and you have a choice whether you want to do anything about it or not. And that's something that I think is very crucial, that a lot of times when people do get the guts to stand up as a leader and say, no, I'm putting my stake in the ground and I'm going ahead and moving forward. I think sometimes when they look back and there's not very many people behind them, they get very discouraged and they think, oh my God, what was I doing? This was not what I was supposed to be doing. And then they stop. And so please don't stop. Please just keep going. Please keep
One thing I gotta add to that. I'm fired up now. One thing I just had to quickly add on to that, because it's so important, everything you're saying. And the biggest thing is those people that are watching you pave the way, that are listening to you pave the way. What's the one thing that's holding them back? Fear. The fear. Yeah. The fear of not succeeding, the fear of leaving the job and not finding something else that makes them happy, the fear of what other people are going to think, the fear of what society tells you you have to be, how you have to act, what you have to say. It's all a fear, and that's an internal struggle. So exactly to what you said, keep speaking up, like keep reminding those people. If you have to do it 1,000 times, maybe the 1,001 time will be the time that they say, you know what? I'm going to take a chance on myself. I'm going to follow along. I've been wanting to do art, paintings. I've been wanting to do dance. I've been wanting to do this my entire life. I'm going to do it. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst outcome? And that's the biggest thing, is that everybody is always has some kind of an internal struggle. I hear people talk about it all the time. This person said something nasty to me. This person treated me badly. And what we have to understand, every single one of us, number one, we're all human, right? Nobody's perfect. We all have things we wish we could probably change about ourselves, or maybe fix, maybe touch up a little bit here, whatever it is, right? We're all human. Number two, not one single person on this entire planet can answer and say, why are we here? How did we get here? What happens when we transition and we're no longer here? Nobody knows, okay? So we're all in the same boat. We're literally, every single one of us, we are all doing the same exact thing. And the most important thing to know is that when that negative energy comes around, like when that negative energy is, somebody says something mean or somebody treats you badly, that's an internal fight that they have within themselves. They feel that they're not good enough. They feel that maybe you taking that risk is a risk that they could never take. And that's why they're projecting that negative energy onto you, because they feel internally they could never take that next step into their life. And they're envious of you because you're doing it. You're stepping into it. And that's the biggest thing, is the more you speak about it, the more that you share about it, the more that you spread that kindness and that positivity, right? Like, you're not like, oh man, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe people treated me this way. I can't believe this. Like, the more that you just say, hey, it's all right. Listen, it's all good. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm sorry you're having a tough day. I'm sorry that, you're struggling with some things. You're battling some fears and some demons within yourself. Like, it takes some people might take a month, some people maybe 20 years, maybe 50 years, whatever it is. But at some point we all figure it out. And if we just came together and we spread that love and that light, the entire world would be a better place. Like, everybody would be so positive and so kind, and everybody would be like, yeah, you go ahead and quit that job. You go ahead and start that art, studio. You go ahead and start that dance studio, whatever it is. People would just be pumping each other up all the time. It's just really having that inner peace and healing that inner trauma that each and every single one of us has dealt with at some point in our lives.
There we go. Sorry, we had a We were like, she broke into the Matrix. Sorry, y'all, for that. Who was listening? Matrix glitch there. We must be on to something. Absolutely, then. So, this pivots us right into. I mean, we've already kind of expressed into this next question, but it's really about what advice would you give someone who is looking to pursue this journey, who is looking to throw their hat over the fence and say, you know what, screw it, I'm all in. What advice would you give to them?
Multiple pieces of advice. Number one, I would say going into whatever it is that you're stepping into, be prepared for a ton of obstacles. Like literally just prepare yourself and expect that terrible things are going to happen along the way. It just is what it is, right? And I say it all the time, like the reality is that life is going to test each and every single one of us all the time, and it's going to test us to see if we're going to keep showing up for the things that we said we were going to show up for regardless of the circumstances, right? So you can say you want to do certain things, you're going to quit your job, you're going to do all these things, but if you're waking up every single day and you're doing the same exact thing, and you're not getting out of bed early, and you don't have any motivation, and you're just telling people like, hey, I'm quitting my job, that's it, it's all good, right? But then you wake up every single day and you're not pursuing those things, right? Like, that you have it within you. I want to do this. I want to experience this. I want to try this out. I want to fail a couple times at this, whatever it is. You have to be willing to go through that. That's number one. Number two, do not have any expectations. Do not go into something, whatever it is, like don't go into something saying, oh, I really want to be a model because they make thousands of dollars and they do all of these great things and they get to be on the front of magazines. Like, what is your why? Because that's the number one thing that's going to wake you up every single day. If you're just doing it just to say you do it, you're not going to wake up in the mornings. You're literally going to do the same thing you do every single day, and you're going to wonder why the outcome is the same exact outcome as it's been for the past couple years, months, days, whatever it is. And I would say number three, the biggest thing is make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people that genuinely want you to succeed. Because I believe that energy is a very, very powerful thing. I think that if you surround yourself with people that are like pumping you up when they're around you and they're like, yeah, you go. And then behind closed doors, they're like, I can't believe she took that chance. Wow. You know what? I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's a smart move. You don't want to surround yourself with people like that, because that energy actually does go into the universe, and that energy is projected onto you and your success. And that could really throw some obstacles in your way as well. So I would say those are the biggest pieces of advice, is just, and really the biggest one is always be yourself. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't try to mold yourself into what you think other people are going to like. Like, just be yourself. Like, there's been so many times where I've shared and I've had people, message me some really nasty things, and they're like, why are you always screaming? Why do you talk so loud? And I'm like, great question. I don't know. It's just who I am. Like, it is what it is. If you don't like it, we have the leave quietly button, and you are welcome to head on out. But like, that's the thing. Like,
volume down.
That's it. Turn it down. Like, whatever it is. Like, but just be yourself, because there's too many people out there trying to be something that they're not. Right? Like, you look at TV and you're like, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to have all these things. Where are all my bags and all my clothes and all my shoes and whatever it is? And it's like, you don't have to do those things. As long as you're happy with yourself, as long as you're happy with the risks that you are about to take, and knowing, right? Like, this is where the expectations comes in, because it's very easy to say, I'm going to quit my job.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And in 1 year from now, I'm going to be here. You can't do that. You cannot do that. It might take you 40 years to get to where you want to go, but you have to be understanding of that process. Like, you have to understand that if you're going to take a chance on yourself, it may not happen overnight. don't have those expectations. As long as you wake up every single day and you're doing what you love to do, and like it literally lights you up, like you're like, yes, I am ready to get out of bed today. I don't care what I'm doing. As long as I have a chance to speak today, I'm all good, right? Like no matter what, whether it's paid, whether it's free, whether it's whatever it is, knowing that you are living the best life possible. And if something, God forbid, happened to you, could you look back at life and say, I took those chances on myself, I did those things? Or are you going to be somebody that says, man, I wish I would have done that? What if I did succeed? What if I did take those chances? Where would I be at? You don't want to be that person. You don't ever want to be the person that's looking back, questioning what could have been or what should have been. You want to be the person right now. The biggest thing I learned on my journey is tomorrow's not promised. You have no clue what tomorrow is going to bring. You literally have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. And I say this all the time, but if you have an opportunity to take a breath of fresh air tomorrow and you have a chance to wake up, some people don't get that. Some people don't recover. Some people don't come out of the situations that they're in. Some people are in worse case scenarios than you are, right? Yeah. So if you get the opportunity to wake up, know that there is a purpose for you. If there's something within you that's burning, that's saying, please just let me out already. Like, what are we doing? Why are you like trying to pretend like you're doing all this stuff and you're not? Like, just let me out, and that's the biggest thing is just knowing that it's going to be a very, very long journey. Surrounding yourself with the right people that genuinely want you to succeed, genuinely want what's best for you. And, just being yourself. Always be yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect exactly as you are, no matter who's watching, who's listening. Like, you were put on this earth to be different from everybody else. Like, can you imagine all these babies popping out and like every single one of us is just the same exact baby? And you're like, which one's my kid? I don't even know, right?
No.
You were born exactly as you are with, what we call quote unquote flaws, like our problems, our obstacles, whatever it is. You chose those things. I believe it wholeheartedly that we have soul contracts. I truly believe that when we come to this earth, that we choose our obstacles, we choose our fears. And on the other side of that is a chance for you to evolve, to become the best version of yourself. But you have to be willing to go on the other side. You gotta get over there, right? Like, it's really easy to stay in the comfort zone. It's really easy to just conform to what everybody else wants you to be. But it is very, very difficult to step into your own. It is very difficult to be yourself, to show other people what you have to offer to this world. But when you're able to do those things, don't give up. No matter what anybody says, no matter how anybody treats you, there's going to be a lot of people that do not want you to win. But as long as you want you to win, and as long as you want to live your best life, that's it. Because at the end of the day, guys, here's the thing. We all have a deadline. Every single one of us, right? We have an expiration. And guess what? Who's going to be there? Who's going to be at your deadline? The people that were telling you how to live your life? Are those people going to be hanging around saying, oh man, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I told you. You're not even going to know where they are. They're going to be so gone that it's not even funny. And guess what? Those people that were telling you all along how to live your life, what to do, they're living their life. They're literally doing what they want to do and stepping into that. And some people might not. Sometimes, it takes an entire lifetime to figure it out. And it takes an entire lifetime to say, this is what I want to do. This is who I'm going to be, and I'm going to pursue it. And the biggest thing that always gets in the way is that fear. That's the biggest block, is that fear of the unknown, that fear of not having control over what the outcome is going to be, right? Like, the outcome might be you succeed, or the outcome could be that maybe it just isn't for you. Like, maybe you're just not meant to do it. Like, that's what it is. But you have to be willing to face whatever outcome that's going to be, and knowing that you put your all into it and you showed up as your best self every single day, no matter what. And that's what makes the difference.
That's beautiful. It's just the fact that to tap on that was a older lady I saw, I think on TikTok or something. She's in her 70s and she's like just wild. I mean, she's just got her own style. And she almost reminds me of Iris, the young lady that turned 100 this year. She's a fashion lady in New York. But anyways, my point being is, they just say, grab life by the hands and live you. Do you. Don't get to our age and be like, what if? Like, stop listening to these naysayers and just go live unapologetically you. Like, love the people you love around that. But outside of that, just live unapologetically and show up, because this life is about, like you said, soul contracts. Absolutely. A lot of us don't realize that we pick the lessons we're going to learn in this life. But when we show up, we forget all this information, and then we go through it, and we're like, oh my God, why am I going through this? Boo boo, you picked this, and you're going to continue to go through it until you learn the lesson. I can say this because I'm learning it myself. And so when you say that, people have to understand you're here for two reasons. A, to learn the lessons you chose to learn, and to live the purpose that you chose to live. Lesson purpose. That's what you're here for. The materialistic stuff that we run after in between is just junk.
It's meant to be a distraction. It's meant to be a distraction. Yeah, absolutely. Because if everybody's going after their dreams, nobody's going to work regular 9-to-5 jobs, and who's going to keep everybody open, right? If we don't do that, like, it's meant to be a distraction. If everybody in the world took a chance on themselves, it would be very different.
Yeah, absolutely. And you say that, and I remind people of this all the time. We like to keep it real, raw, and funny, right? Is that you let me know when they make caskets for two people.
Yeah.
Okay. When they make caskets for two people, sign me up for caring about what other people say. And also let me know when your U-Haul is following you on your last ride in the hearse, and they're going to put all the Gucci bags and all the things that we try to show off and all the things that we think mean everything, and they mean absolutely nothing. The person, the energy, the frequency that is right in your presence, which is why they call it a present, because it needs to be right now, not in the past, not in the future. Worry about right now is here. And that's the things that we have to focus on, that we all need to be reminded about. And I think that's the great thing of what's happening now, especially with these social media apps, and how we're all being able to come together collectively and share our stories, because our story is our glory. Our story is somebody's survival guide, and it's also somebody's medicine, as what you mentioned earlier, is that if somebody doesn't communicate, if somebody doesn't press that button and come up and raise their hand and share their testimony, then that might not save somebody else or release them from that fear, or give them that purpose that, you know what, I am going to quit school. You know what? I am going to travel across the world with not knowing any language and go start a new world. And it took somebody to say one little thing, just like you were sitting in your class and you're like, you know what?
I'm done. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It was like a light bulb went off, you guys. I don't know what happened. And
who are you? I thought that was a barbecue.
I don't know what happened. And just one thing that I really, really want to add to what you were saying, it is very, very important. You know, the biggest thing that I try to talk about as much as I possibly can is that this life is not about us.
Yeah.
As much as we want it to be, right? We want to wake up every single day, and we want to dress good, and we want to look good, we want to feel good. It's not about us at the end of the day. You know, what this life is about is, number one, we don't know. As much as, listen, you might read all the reincarnation books and whatever it is, We don't know. We don't know what happens. If I knew that I had a second life, I probably wouldn't face my fears, and I probably would be a little bit lazier, right? I mean, who wouldn't? It's just the reality, right? If you knew the outcome, you probably wouldn't chase that thing as much as you do now. The other thing is that this is not about us. This is about what are we leaving behind for our future leaders, right? We want to make an impact. I hear people talking about it all the time. I want to make a global impact. What are you doing? What are you doing to make a global impact, right? It could be something as simple as you're going to the grocery store and you just hold the door open for somebody. Maybe you're driving, right? A couple weeks ago, I had an incident. I was having a really bad day. I was flared up. My fibromyalgia was killing me. I was having one of the worst days of my life. And a woman, I never met her in my entire life. And there was a lot of traffic. I was driving. And she just let me go in front of her. She saw that I had been waiting there for a little while, and she let me go in front of her. And that changed my entire day. That shifted my whole mindset. Just knowing the kindness of this woman, this stranger. I never met her in my entire life. I never even spoke to her. And if I could have said something to her, I would have just let her know how much she had changed my life that day from that one act of kindness. So, when we talk about really making that positive global impact, what are we doing to do that, right? Like, you could talk all day long, you could do whatever it is, but what are you really doing for other people? Like, are you truly making a difference in other people's lives? And if so, how are you doing that? And what do you expect, right? Like, what do you want to leave behind in this world? People talk about it all the time. They want to leave behind legacies. They want to leave behind this. They want to leave behind that. And usually that entails money, that entails fortune, that entails all of those things. And when we are able to finally understand and dive deep and just say, like, this is not about me. Like, listen, if I'm able to speak around the entire world and I'm able to even change one person's life, one person, I would do that for free for the rest of my life. Even one person's life, if I was able to make an impact on. That's the legacy that I want to leave behind. So really the question is for everybody that's listening and watching is, what legacy are you going to leave behind? And are you starting that right now?
Yeah. And even furthermore, I thought about this earlier today, is that, we're all trying to, or be entrepreneurs. And we have to remember the essence of it is that we are wanting to be entrepreneurs because we are caring about ourselves, because we are wanting to get from up underneath this regime of somebody else telling us what to do, how to do it, this, that, and the other. And we're clawing and scratching and doing whatever it is to get outside of that. And yet in itself, we're being selfish in that one entrepreneurship whole mentality. But when we get outside of our mindset and understand, oh, it's not about, me weren't trying to get out of this. It's about me caring about other people and helping them get what they want. Because I remind people, as many people as you help, that's the rewards that you're going to get back, right? You want to help somebody, you want charity, you go help somebody else build their charity. You want more money, go help somebody else make more money. You want more time, go help somebody else get more of their time. And in return, you will get that back. So whatever you're looking for, go help somebody else achieve that. And more importantly, you'll learn from the lessons from it, and you'll learn who you are. And I truly believe that's what entrepreneurship is. It's about you becoming a better you and becoming selfish, because that's truly what an entrepreneur is caring about everybody else.
Absolutely. And just one really quick thing I want to add to that.
Come on.
When you're stepping into that field, like you said, a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, and they want to be entrepreneurs to have that freedom, right? To be able to say, like, great, yeah, like I don't have to work for anybody. I don't have to do anything. But the biggest thing is you will get things in return, but don't go into it wanting things in return. Right. That's the biggest takeaway, is don't go into it having those set expectations. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I'm going to help as many people as I can, and then I'm going to be rich. You can't do that. The expectation, the end goal for anybody that is looking to step into anything, entrepreneurship, whatever it is that anyone is looking to step into, do not go into it thinking what the outcome is going to be for you. think about what the outcome is going to be for other people. How are you going to transform those people's lives? That in itself is plenty of reason for you to want to be an entrepreneur, for you to want to work for yourself, whatever it is. That is enough reason. That is enough of a why for you to step into that, is because you know that you're going to make an impact in somebody else's life.
I love it. Which leads us to the final question. What inspires you to do what you do and keep you going?
Oh, this is an easy one, huh? I love this one. Well, the thing that keeps me going every single day is that I know that I've been faced with the challenges that I've been faced with, because I know that I can overcome them. I know that I have the strength to be able to overcome them. And my biggest thing is I want to show other people exactly what they're capable of. Like, there's been times in my life where I question, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do this. Like, there is no shot I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to pull this one off. And you know what? Every single one of us, we overcome those moments every single time. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, right? We wouldn't be here sharing and talking and having this incredible discussion tonight. So, I would say the biggest thing is, well, number one, you guys, I have fibromyalgia. I just got fibro fog big time. Totally forgot what I was even going to say in the first place. This happens. This happens all the time, you guys. And
I don't got fibromyalgia, and I get that all the time. So I'll be right there with you. I'll be like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think throughout this whole thing, I mean, you express, what inspires you and what gets you going. Yeah. Just the transformation, like I said earlier, you literally turned your trap into your trampoline. You want to help other people understand that, hey, you might not have expectations, right, in life, but hey, you might be right here. Never know what it's going to lead you, and yours is just keep it going. That's it every day.
There it is. It came back to me. This always happens. I lose it for a few seconds and then I remember. But you know what it is? I'll tell you. The number one thing, even with my fibro fog, I always speak from the heart, right? I'm not reading any script. Like, I just say it how it is. I speak from the heart, and that's just who I am as a person. But that's the thing is my biggest goal in life is, if anything happened to me right now, God forbid, my biggest goal is to change other people's lives, to show people what they're capable of. Like, I'm so tired of watching people waste away their life, right? Like, just because of, like we said earlier, what other people are going to think, what other people are going to say, what your expectation is of the outcome, right? If I don't know that I'm going to succeed, I can't do that. I can't take a chance on myself. I want to change people's lives and remind every single person that is on this planet that they are here for a reason. You didn't just wake up. Like, you didn't just get to wake up and have all of these things. As much as sometimes in life we think like it's the end of the world and we think we're never going to overcome it, we do every single time. And just being able to show people, like, no matter what it is, listen, I have fibromyalgia. I'm in pain every single day. Every single day I am in pain. Sometimes it's soreness. Sometimes I can't even walk. My fiance's brushing my hair and helping take care of me. It's what it is, right? My legs and my arms turn purple. It used to happen, certain temperatures. Now it has a mind of its own. It's just like, Zavanna, I'm coming out. Doesn't matter what you think, right? I don't care how you're feeling. And I want to show people that even, for someone like me, like, there's been so many points in my life where I thought I was never going to overcome them. Like, I felt like I had just fell down the rabbit hole of failure and fell down the rabbit hole of, feeling pity for myself and feeling sorry for myself. And, like, looking around at the world and saying, like, wow, like, why does that person have that? Or why does that person live that type of life? And I'm here, I'm going through this. And, just reminding people that that's a blessing. Like, it is such a blessing that we have the opportunity to wake up every single day. We have the opportunity to change other people's lives. Like, that's huge. Like, it's easy to change our lives. Like, you might have to overcome some things, but that's a pretty easy thing. but to change somebody else's life, to remind somebody like, hey, you're beautiful. Hey, you're going to be successful. Like, you are capable of accomplishing whatever it is in this lifetime that you want to. If you want to be the best mountain climber, bet you can be the best mountain climber. If you want to be the best dancer, you're going to be the best dancer, but you have to believe in yourself. There could be people telling you all day long, oh, you're going to do this, you're great, congratulating you. But at the end of the day, you have to face yourself. And the most important thing is how we feel about ourselves when we're by ourselves, right? Because that's it. That's the only person you're facing at the end of the day. It's nobody else. It's you, yourself, and you. So just reminding people that, number one, there's still good people in the world. As much as there's a lot of chaos going on and a lot of, anger and hatred and just judgment overall, right? Like, there's still good people in the world, and you get to make a decision every single day to be one of those good people. Like, I'll just add this one little thing. I hear people all the time talk about the one percenters, right? Everybody wants to be a one percenter. Raise your hands. You want to be a one percenter, right? But the one percenters are not the people that are rich, right? That's the only thing you see is you look at the one percenters and you're like, oh man, those people are multimillionaires. Like, what? The one percenters are the people that continue to take a chance on themselves for the greater good of other people. That's what the 1% are. That's the one percenter, is the people that are taking a chance every single day, the people that are facing their fears every single day, the people that are quote unquote failing and failing and failing and failing and failing. And they still show up day in and day out for the greater good of other people. That is the biggest thing in life that you can accomplish and that you can chase, is the greater good of other people.
Yeah, that's the fruit of the joy. That's the title. That's the title of this podcast right there. The good of other people.
I love it. That was absolutely amazing. You are so spot on. That was amazing.
I am so appreciative of all the gems. We could sit here and talk for hours. And I'm sure David would be asleep and our audience would be asleep, but Zavanna and I would be just having a great conversation.
Just it up.
Just chopping it up. So, but we absolutely are so appreciative that you stopped in today and you allowed a little time in your schedule to come grace our audience just with some love. And we are so appreciative of you, of spending some digital currency. It's just, digital currency is such more of a value than people understand. It's that showing up for other people. That speaks volumes, and we don't go unnoticed. That does not go unnoticed with us. So we always do a fun little quick round, and then we have one last surprise question for you that nobody ever gets to see it on the thing. So we're gonna do the 5 little questions that are just quick answers. So they're like one answer questions, and it's just little get to know you. So it's like, for instance, what's your favorite color?
Favorite color is pink. Love pink.
Love it. What is your favorite food?
Oh, okay. So I'll just you're going to laugh at this one. So I'm actually lactose intolerant. I love anything dairy. Pizza. Literally anything that makes me sick, I love. Like, don't ask me why. I
don't care. Let's go.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Me and Brian are going to start a separate group.
Baby, it's going to do that. Don't care. Let's go. All in. Yeah.
Baby, don't care. She's in.
I'm in. Oh, man. What's your favorite book?
Oh, wow. You know what? I would have to say one of my favorite books would be Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein. 100%. If you haven't checked it out, that's how I learned a lot of things that I know about the universe and about how things come to us. And when we do things in love and positivity, they come back in tenfold for us, you know, and that would definitely be it. Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein.
Wait, she's gonna have that read.
Yeah, I already wrote it down. What is your favorite place to vacation?
Oh, okay. I would have to say where me and my fiance want to get married. We haven't been able to get married, and it's because you know, the pandemic and just everything. You know, I have a bad immune system, so I don't even take a chance on that. But I would say St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's close, you know, like you're not traveling super far. And it's like a whole different world. It's absolutely stunning.
I love it. And last but not least, what is your favorite way to dress? It's a new one.
Okay. So I'll tell you, I have two favorite ways, right? There's only two sides of my fashion, right? So number one is when I'm creating content. I just love, you know, getting all dressed up and wearing whatever it is. Love suits. I absolutely love suits. They're really hard to find, I'll tell you, for someone that's 5'2". They are very hard to find, especially the pants. They are like literally bags on me, but when I do find them, it's a great thing. And then my number one favorite way to dress is throw on some sweatpants, put on my pajamas, and just relax, like just chill out. That is my ultimate favorite piece of clothing ever. Just literally, I can wear sweaters and sweatpants forever, and I would totally be fine with that.
That's why we're in hoodies, because it's like,
we're gonna have to start letting our guests know, hey, look, this is comfortable.
Yeah, you don't have to be all fancy. Like, they get on, like, what
you guys, you're gonna laugh. I have sweatpants on right now. Do not let it fool you. Do not let it fool you.
That was me yesterday.
I love it. 2020, I probably spent half my time in my underwear and just
yeah.
Hoodie.
Yeah. Like,
you just want to be comfortable, right? Like, come on. Like, I have my sweatpants on. Listen. I got my slippers on.
Woo, I can't wait till this is over.
Take the jacket off, put the hoodie on.
I'm ready. I got my pajama shirt under this. I'm ready to go.
But that is so what we are. Like, we're just like, all right, we're here. All right, we're done. Like, it's just, it is. And as we get into the virtual land, that's a whole different conversation. But so last but not least, and then we're going to ask you to share with the audience how they can connect with you and get in touch with you and what you're up to. But this is our favorite question. So you have everything. You and Brian, you're good. You want for nothing. You have all the things in the world. You know, there's just, you're able to take care of people. You're able to take care of yourselves. You're able to you have the freedom and you have the wealth. And one weekend, you and Brian are cleaning out the house and you're in this closet and you're like, hey, baby, what's that bag? I don't know. You open it. No, you open it. And you open it up and you look inside of it. Oh, my God. There is that $1 million that you just put in the bag and that you just forgot about. That $1 million cash sitting in that bag. And we want to know how you're going to spend it.
Okay, well, number one, I'll tell you who would be the one to open the bag. It would be me. I'll take full credit for that. It would totally be me to open the bag, right? Like, we'd be going back and forth, and ultimately, I would be the one opening the bag. I would split it up in multiple different ways. Number one, I would definitely find some kind of a charity. You know, I actually probably would be the foundation that I started. Last year, we lost 2 fur babies. One passed away due to old age, and the other one passed away. We had him for only a year, and he ended up contracting. We brought him for his yearly checkup, and he ended up contracting at the vet a thing called FIP, which I didn't even know about. It's a feline coronavirus. It's very similar to the coronavirus. And, you know, we brought him home and, you know, we thought maybe he just was like a little bit scared still from the experience. Cause, you know, for an entire year he was home. We didn't take him out. And he did pass away due to FIP. And, I've been trying to bring awareness to that. So I would say finding a foundation or a charity that, was very near and dear to my heart, to be able to save lives, to be able to truly make a difference. And the second thing that I would do is you always want to think smart, right? So if you have money, you got to double that money, put it into stocks, make some kind of an investment, whether it's, starting a real estate business and, having some kind of properties, or putting it into stocks, into the stock market. Like, you always want to have something that's going to bring you more money, right? So then you can continue to use that money to help others, to save lives, to continue to make a difference in that positive impact in the world. So those are probably the two ways that I would split it up. Definitely.
I love it. Fur babies are very special to our heart. We recently lost our fur baby, who was a child of ours, suddenly, practically, and he turned into a shapeshifter, turned into a cat. I mean, now we got a cat. We were not cat people, and now we are. We're like, whoa, what's going on? So it's a cool thing. But yeah, that tugs on our heartstrings. So all love to
people
you.
Don't know how much important our fur babies are until it impacts you. And I remind people, like, when I was growing up, like, dogs, cats, you forget about it. Like, having my own dog and then losing them the way we did, it was like, ugh. And we were down for a hot minute, and I was like, I lost my son. That was because we don't have any kids, and so people don't get it, but people that do have pets, they get it for sure.
Yeah, they definitely become family. And I just want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. I know what that's like, and it's definitely not something easy. Our first cat, he was almost 19 years old. Had him his entire life. Literally, I had him like so little that I had to bottle feed him when he was a kitten. And then when he passed away, that was really hard. But I think the hardest thing was seeing our 1-year-old kitten pass away at such a young age, and just knowing that he had so much life left to live. That was really very hard. So, that's definitely something that's near and dear to my heart. And I just want you guys to know, I really am so sorry for what you went through, because I can't imagine, that's really difficult to experience. They're family. They really are. When I lost my first cat, I felt like I had an almost 19-year-old son. We don't have children either. And I still, to this day, it's been over a year, and I still think about him every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't.
Yep. Yeah. We agree. But we send you lots of love as well, you and Brian, about that, as I am in full tears over here, just because it is our babies, and it is very passionate, and it's very close to our hearts. So with that said, Miss Zavanna, will you please tell this beautiful family of ours where they can plug into you and how they can get to be, in your realm? Because I know you're on fire, and they're going to want to be on fire. And so we want them to plug into you.
Well, before I do that, before anybody plugs into me, Tara, I have to tell you, you are literally the most beautiful woman I've ever seen crying. You should see me when I'm crying. You don't even want to go there.
This is good cry. You should not see the,
that's literally me. I got tissues all over the place, and everything's just coming off, and everything's all wet, and just, it's bad. You do not even want to be a part of that. So I just had to point that out a second. You literally are absolutely beautiful. You are glowing, and I would not even know that you were crying. So that's a gift in itself right there. But yes,
I barely see you, but
but yes, the way that people can connect with me is they can go to ZavannaDova.com. I also, you can email me if it's for coaching, if it's for anything along those lines, speaking engagements. I also have a section on ZavannaDova.com. That's the Amarello Foundation. And that's the foundation that I started for our second fur baby that we lost last year. And, right now I have a petition going. If you go to that page on my website, I have a petition going right now. I'm trying to get it passed, because there are treatments that can save our fur babies' lives. But right now you can't give it to them. When we were struggling with it, we had the medication, and the vet literally would not give give our baby the medication. So that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. That's something that I'm looking to get past. So if anyone's listening, if you're in the US, it doesn't ask you for anything. You literally, your first name, your last name. You could even put a fake initial if you want. It doesn't even, you don't even have to put your real initial. And then just an email. And if you could sign that petition, we need to get to 100. I think we're at 74 so far. So we're almost there. And I'm just looking to really change lives and to really, continue to save lives, because that's the most important thing. I never want anybody to experience what we've experienced. And there's treatments. It's just, we have to get them passed. We have to get them into the eyes of the medical field, and we have to really, work on this together. So that would be the biggest thing. Instagram is Zavanna_Dova. Clubhouse, same exact thing. I'm literally Zavanna_Dova everywhere. So if you want to find me on Twitter, if you want to find me on TikTok, if you want to find me on Clubhouse, Instagram, wherever it is always Zavanna_Dova. And if you're looking to become a part of the community, the Sisterhood of Influential Entrepreneurs, you can type that out over on Facebook. We have a Facebook group with a couple thousand people in it. And we also have a website as well, the sisterhood.club, where you can type in the Sisterhood of Influential Entrepreneurs.com, and you can find us there as well. You can create a profile, you can connect with all of the ladies that are a part of the community. And if you are in the New Jersey, New York, Connecticut surrounding areas, definitely connect with me, because there's going to be a lot of incredible things that we are doing this spring and summer when I'm actually able to get out of the house without being in pain. So definitely you want to be a part of that as well. There's going to be some really awesome things to join in and to connect with all of the ladies as well. So those are the basics, right? Just ZavannaDova.com. That's probably the best way to reach me, or Clubhouse, because I'm literally always talking. So if there's anywhere that there's an opportunity to talk, you can find me there.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Zavanna, we want to thank you so much. And this is literally, how we were able to have her join us. Was I immediately went and filled that thing out as soon as she said it, because that was some strings tugged to me. And she's like, hey, I want to do this with you. I was like, perfect, let's do it. So we're going to make sure that you get those 24. Yeah. I can promise you that.
Let's do it. We're going to do it together. That's it. We're going to continue to save lives and change lives. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. So we want to thank you so much for joining us. This was absolutely amazing. And for those of you that, don't know, HELLO stands for Helping Everyone Live Life Optimally. We're doing 3 simple things to help you out in 3 major ways: collaborate, automate, duplicate, so we can help you, get online before you're left behind. And really, at the end of the day, help you stop being the janitor in your business so you can be the VP of your business. And more importantly, we bring love, kindness, and integrity, because that's all that we are about, is bringing back that love and really helping people out and encourage them to take action and just do it. Period.
I mean, I can't thank you enough, ma'am. Just this conversation, you brought a lot of messages this way, messages that I needed to hear. And so that you changed and that you had an impact in this conversation, regardless if anybody else tells you that, you made an impact. And so I am so blessed that we got to be able to connect and meet. And I'm so glad that you got to meet Mr. Jones on Clubhouse. And you keep being out in those streets, and you guys keep pushing and keep being out here, because we're up to big things as a community, whether we do business together or not in life. That's with anybody. We are all family when we are on the same journey to help other people live a better life, live a more optimal life, bring some optimacy. And that might look like, you guys, just a better quality of life. You got to understand, a lot of this world lives on less than $2 a day. So we want to help those people and those animals too. So with that said, thank you so much. And I'm so excited to help you get these other 24 people that we need. I'll be another one on there. So
and I just want to take a minute to just give the the both of you for this incredible opportunity. You know, just being able to connect and be able to just get to know one another further and how we can support one another. You know, no strings attached. Like, just really, what can we do to evolve as humanity? You know, and to continue to move forward. So I just really appreciate the both of you for this opportunity. And you guys, if you are listening, you want to check out this podcast. I had an opportunity to listen in, to check it out, and there's some good stuff on there, you guys. You want to be a part of that. You don't want to miss out on these you know, conversations and discussions, because that's what it's all about. We just have to continue to learn and to become the best versions of ourselves. And how we do that is by connecting with people that, you know, really want us to succeed, that genuinely have the best interest for us. And that's what you guys did here today for me. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Awesome.
Thank you. We are so appreciative would be the thing I would say. So our gratitude is off to you, ma'am.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the live session right here. We're going to keep Zavanna around maybe for another 10, 15 minutes, depending on how much longer she has. But definitely come and join us. You know where at, in the Hello LLC room, in Clubhouse, or on Wisdom. You know where we be at. So definitely come and join us. And you guys definitely make sure you come and join us, because we're going to actually put Zavanna's Club at the top. We're going to get her some more people in her room as well. And we're going to be talking a little bit more. So definitely come and find out a little bit more about what we got going. But with that said, love,
kindness,
and integrity.
See you guys next time.
Toodles.
Thank you.
Bye.